What's up, everybody out there? I'm just doing a test, and actually, I am doing a full-on live stream, but I'm just checking. What's up, everybody out there? I'm just doing a test. Hold on. And actually, I already know that you're not supposed to hear that part. So it's been a minute. Can you guys hear me? We're taking this one step at a time as I move back into this. Let me know that you guys can hear me if you could. It's so great to see everybody. Phil, great to see you, brother. Great to catch up the other day. Dave the Amazer is amazing. Matt Bombensauer and Rod Hop is an original Hall of Famer. Yeah. Good. You guys can hear me. Great to see you, Rod Hop. Hollow the Otto. Look at this, man. I believe that's right. The best is yet to come. No doubt about it. Loud and clear, Mike Morass says. Mike, great to see you. Rommel TM, the bill collector. Long time. No live stream, bro. You damn right. I'm glad to be back, too, by the way. There's obviously a lot happening, in crypto and without and outside of crypto. And I just wanted to get together, for a few and just discuss it, and then have a chance for you guys to put your comments out there as well. So really, really cool. Very cool. Carl Eric B. General Mills, man, great to see you reporting for duty, sir. Absolutely. I tell you what, this is a great bunch. Carl, great to see you as always, my friend. General Mills is in the house. And by the way, he's got some great .crypto names. And I'll tell you something, by the way, I have a link to it, but I'm not even trying to sell this stuff right at this point. I'm just trying to help you guys sell what you have, because I think you've got some great names. General Mills, I suggest to you guys with that unstoppable domains, before we get started here, I suggest to you guys, focus on industries and different kind of, areas that you can build a .crypto name around. Because, back in the day when the .coms were taken off and they sold for a lot, you saw vacationrentals.com ended up selling for $35 million. Now, will that be the same thing around when the .cryptos absolutely start taking off? Because it is the next 2.0 digital freedom of speech. Believe me, I do believe they're going to take off. But here's what's interesting. Vacationrentals.com, well, that is the perfect area of industry to start thinking about, or insurance area and things of that nature, so you're not infringing on a trademark. Well, that's exactly what General Mills did. And General Mills has vacationresorts.crypto. What? I said, oh my goodness, go ahead, General Mills. General Mills knows what's going on. So very excited for him and all of you to have some really great names, which I will continue to help promote for you guys so you can get some exposure for them. So, okay, where do you guys want to start this morning? Look, you guys know I don't have a political affiliation. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that area today. But other than to say that, quite honestly, the way I feel about the things that are happening right now, it's a process. You got to let the process play out. And whatever it is, I think Brad Garlinghouse said it really perfectly. Democracy wins at the end of the day. Although we haven't seen democracy play out yet because it's a constitutional process that we're in the middle of. I don't know about you, but I'm telling on myself for age. I remember Al Gore and George Bush, and it came down to a little thing called a hanging Chad. And it was like the media did the same thing. They went out and they proclaimed a winner, and then a month later they had to walk it back because the process had not completed. So I'm not pulling for one side or the other. I'm just telling you that, there's a constitutional process. I'm going to wait for that process to finish. Just like, there was a constitutional process in the last election when they pursued interference, I believe it was, from another country. So we're going to let all of that play out, or at least I am, because I know that if there's a process, then let the process happen. And whatever happens after that, I have to trust in democracy. And whoever's the president is my president. And that's the way it's always been for me, because I'm not either right or left. I'm an independent. So I don't ever really get my way anyway. So but it's fun to watch, no doubt about it. One thing I think, and I wanted to send this message, because no matter where you stand in your point of view on the matter. Like Jeff Hardy asked the question, who's better for crypto? And you know, and I'm going to avoid saying their names, guys, just because the platform that I'm using to communicate with you is not a freedom of speech platform. I've been punished greatly over the couple years I've been in business on this platform, and I have to be very careful because they will do really, really rotten things to you, and they do not have any accountability for it. So I got to be very careful what I say. I'm just acknowledging that I honestly, Jeff, the way I'm looking at this ultimately is, I mean, I'm sure people have drilled down and said, you know, this could be better or that could be better. I look at it from a little bit more of a macro things, and absolutely, Jeff, no doubt, no politics. I would just simply say that crypto and what is happening, and specifically in my eyes for XRP, is bigger than whoever ends up being in that position when this process is completed. Crypto is bigger than that, and specifically XRP. You know, I think we've all seen enough information to understand that no matter who ends up, you know, taking the helm there and filling the seat, you know, this is a global decentralized asset, XRP. And this is made for the world. And more importantly, it's made for the, you know, entire central banking system and the settlement of derivatives market for the clearinghouses. So, you know, in my eyes, you know, coming from it from an investment standpoint, we win. You know, it doesn't matter to me who actually fills the seat, to be honest with you. I feel like, you know, they being the central banks and the you know, world leaders, they all, between the World Economic Forum and the IMF, have made it abundantly clear, in the G20, which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we have a meeting with the G20 coming up at the end of this month. Dun, 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 dun. And I think that's a big meeting. You know, the digital task force or digital economy task force is a huge part of the bullet points of that meeting and the findings of how to implement the new financial payment rails, right? And I think that is an enormous thing that we have to look forward to on an international level. I like to share this point of view if I could, because I've noticed this in the time that I've been invested in crypto in this space in XRP. And it's always been that through this process, we have certainly picked up a correlation, or not a correlation, but a trend. And the trend and the flow of dispersing guidelines and framework and soft law has really come down from the international level. You know, it was the FATF, right, the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, that came down with the guidelines about KYC, AML, and CFT. And within 24, 48 hours, we saw the U.S. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin adopt that recommendation in those guidelines, which were not laws, right? But you could look at what the FATF offers as what they call soft law, right? So, and there's a really great 30-minute or so podcast with Dr. Chris Brummer, who is absolutely phenomenal, speaking with the BIS about the soft law. And the FATF is really kind of used as an example, I think, in that. Either in that or it was something that I pulled up. But nevertheless, it's certainly incredible. Jeff Hardy says, hey, Spencer H. And Jeff Hardy says, Brad, did you ever get your stimulus check? No, I did not, Jeff. And I'm glad you got yours Friday. My account said my home address was wrong, which I never got. Yeah, you should look at man, I've been looking into it. You know, it's a vicious circle. What's happened is no matter what I call, they refer me to a website. When I go to the website and don't have any headway, they refer me to the number to call. You just can't make it up. I tell you, you know, I'm just glad they're not doctors, you know. I'd have fell to the floor. Tony Morissette, Brad, I'm looking forward to your LINQTO interview with Michelle O'Connor, knowing you're doing incredible. And well, thank you so much, Tony Morissette. You know, and it's great to see you. look, I'm going to tell you something. If you have not had the opportunity to tune in to the Lunch and Learns and to join that community, which it costs nothing to do, or it's free to download the app, just register with them. You have to be an accredited investor to be able to buy the private equity, that's for sure. But the reality is you could join the community for free, and there's just amazing people like Michelle O'Connor there, formerly from Uphold and now at Synapse. And we're going to discuss and listen. And if you haven't had a chance to hear her perspectives and insight on this space, you are about to hear someone who's extremely knowledgeable about where we are and where we're going. And we're going to have a great conversation. I'm really looking forward to it. Shout out to Michelle O'Connor. And I'm really excited to have a great conversation about Synapse and neobanks and where we're going. Neobanks being digital banks, right? And not brick and mortar. And I think you're just going to see more and more of this neobank style launching as we go forward. This is the world we're living in, right? And as Kristalina Georgieva says from the IMF, we are not going to build it back to what it was. That's right. We're moving through a transformation. Carl Eric beat General Mills, man. And Guac Girl's in the house. Gosh, it's so great to see all of you. Ralph Heyman says, Brad Garlinghouse recent tweets seemed pretty rational. It was just a message to congratulate the next prez. That's all, not to take it anywhere. Oh, yeah, Ralph Raymond. I mean, listen, he's a company, he's a business, right? And he just wants to make sure that, he's acknowledging, the process in both sides. However, like I said, the thing we have to do is let the constitutional process play out. Like I said, I'm a little older. I don't know how old you are, Ralph, but, we got to let that process play out. I'm not going to jump just because the media jumped. They did that during Al Gore and Bush. And then a month later, everybody was, like scratching their head. What's going on, So, and like I say that from an observer standpoint. I don't have a horse in the race, right? I really don't. So, but I do know to watch the process, and the process hasn't played out. When the process plays out, whoever we got at the end of the day is who we got. And, however you see it, we got to, we got to make it happen. Ralph Raymond says, I'm 18 in my dreams. Me too, man. Me too. Look at this person. Sin City's in the house. Crypto anesthetized Doc. Yeah, I like it. Gosh, it's so great to see all of you. So look, outside of that, I do want to warn people before we get started here, and I'm just relaxing, taking our time into this thing. We have to be careful too, guys. We'd Say When puts out a little reminder here. And I'm going to share another one with you guys as well. And it is first this. And it's there are fake XRP labs and some wallets and some support accounts asking for users to send funds. They will never ask you to do it. Will never ask you to send funds to an XRP Ledger account. Stay vigilant. Thank you, We'd Say When. And, he makes such a wonderful point. And if I could, shout out to Frank and Joyce. Frank sent me a message this morning, and I know he won't mind that I share it in a general way, is that you got to be careful out here. He just had a friend who gave up his passwords and his keys to his ledger to what was a fake site. And these people got good hustles, man. They really do. That's how they get you to do it. They catch you off guard first thing in the morning, really late at night. The email, the website looks official, and then you send it. And once you send it, it's really, really difficult to get that back, because once you give them that information, they access it, they transfer it off of your account onto theirs and send it somewhere else. And I don't know if there's a thing you can do, and that just makes my stomach turn. And then remember, this happened to Big Skinny like last year, a year and a half ago. He had the same thing happen. He's quite a smart guy, and every good element of a hustle catches you, and that you get that immediate knock you off your heels a little bit, and then the next thing you know, you've done something that gives them that access before you realize the hustle is in play, or the scam is in play. Be very, very careful. No one will ever ask in a legitimate business or company for your private keys or words. Do not give them up. So, okay. Spencer H, great to see you. And man, the info you sent me the other day was just so amazing, man. I haven't had a chance to blow it up for the stream, but or a video yet. But man, great stuff, man. I so much appreciate you, man. One of the smartest cats out here. I guess if I actually opened my emails, I would have a better chance of being hacked. Nobody's got time for that. Yeah, it is just tough, Ian. Thank God you don't, right? Carl Wagner, great to see you, my friend. Anyone can get caught off guard. Always be careful. Excellent point, Guac Girl. Excellent point. And, before we get down into a couple other things today, too, I do want to let you guys know Mike Jansen is in the third edit right now, headed to the fourth edit run of Cryptonaires, the documentary, and it's coming together beautifully. We have cut the film down. Now listen to this. Our first edit was 5 hours. The first edit of material that was like, here's what the thing will look like as a rough through, right? Just kind of looking at it, just clips put together, was 5 hours and 41 minutes plus. That is too long for a documentary, and we had to whittle it down. And the hardest part about it is cutting out amazing contributions and comments from so many amazing people out here. And that has been the toughest thing I've ever had to do, is to cut things out just because the length of it's too long. So now we're down to, I think it's an hour and 40 minutes. So we've cut out, 4 hours worth of incredible interviews and clips. And I should be seeing that next third or fourth edit, rough edit. Dustin and I should be seeing that very soon. And that's going to bring us a lot closer. And we're on it. So we'll keep you posted. And I'm so excited for that to be done so you guys can enjoy it. I really am. Rommel TM, a cup of coffee on a foggy Sunday morning with Brad Keyes. Great combination. Thank you, Rommel. And we're glad you're here, man. No doubt about it. And each one of you, hit that like and subscribe on the way in, guys. Anthony Booton is in here, and Home Church Panama. Great to see you, my friend. Yeah, great to see you. I know, Carl, it is amazing if you talk about the documentary. I tell you, I'm just so excited for, and look, obviously I want it to be done so you guys can enjoy it, and we all do, right? But, we also promise to give you a great documentary. So, it takes the time that it takes, and Jansen has a full-time life and job, going on, and family, so we're getting it done as quick as anybody can, no doubt about it. Especially on the budget we're on, and we're going to make it really, I think, something very special for the whole community. Let's see here. So I wanted to scroll down because let's talk about this for a second, please. Shout out to XRP Crypto, Wolf, Michael Val, 5 Links, Bond Crypt, DJ Peter Vass, and so many others. I just can't name them all. I mean, you guys are absolutely amazing, and I do appreciate you, each and every one of you, so much. SBI will test XRP in the $6.6 trillion foreign exchange market. I can't even say it without getting giddy. The test will determine if the speed of XRP can be used as a bridge asset. Well, of course it can. We know this, don't we? Don't we know this? How exciting is this, right? I mean, this is very exciting. Yeah. So, it's just amazing to me, Yeah, it's the truth, Phil. There is zero freedom of speech here. There's no doubt that is true. I cannot say certain things. I have absolutely said certain things, and the channel be suspended or, just struck down. And it's unfortunate. And in fact, that's why I'm streaming to you from the Digital Ledger channel and not from my main channel, because I couldn't dare risk it at this point. But this is why we're here. But and that's a good thing. We work around it, right? When the world hands you lemons, you make lemonade, and that's what we're doing here. And this is going to be some pretty damn good lemonade with all of you in here. So, but think about this for a second. That we know that they've tested. There's no way they haven't tested. They haven't waited till now to test. Yoshitaka Kitao and SBI Holdings have been partnered with Ripple since 2016, if my memory serves me correctly. This is just remarkable, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. It's truly remarkable. And I tell you something, I mean, I don't know when, they did not say when they would start testing, but the fact that they even tell us publicly and decided to share with us publicly that this is going to move forward in a test manner to see if it's efficient. Well, of course it's efficient. They wouldn't even be pushing this narrative unless they understood where this was going. And this is going to a pretty amazing place, right? So, yeah, exactly. Spencer's got it. Yeah, of course they tested the system. That's why they call it a test net. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And Mike Morath, exactly, man, building on Spencer's point. The test is a joke. You know it's a roll-in. Yeah, exactly. They're going to start rolling it in. It's whenever they decide to do it. And they're not going to come out here and go, hey, we're not really sure where this thing's going, but we're going to test it. And we just wanted to let the world know you could watch us in case we fail, right? That isn't what companies and banks, it isn't what they do, right? You know, they're telling you because they already understand the benefits of it. And then this is how you phase it in and roll it out, right, as a product. And that's what I think we're seeing here. So this is pretty remarkable, and it would make sense to me that SBI, obviously being, you know, an investor in Ripple, would be, you know, one of these to step up and say, we're going to begin to start working with this asset, and we'll let you know. And I think they already know how it's going to go. So, and if they don't, well, that's just poor business to roll it out and have the world watch you not knowing how it's all going to shake out, right? Let's see. And listen to this, because I tell you something, you know, Bitcoin, it's just absolutely on a tear, right? I mean, just on a tear. Where's it at this morning? Is it jumped back up again? Because I know it took a breath last night. Yeah, it's out. It's back pushing again. It was in 14,000 upper range there, like 14.8, something like that. I saw last night, and then we're back at 15,160. And all the Bitcoin investors and analysts are really calling for anything above 18,000 to 28,000. Someone even, I saw an article somewhere down here that said they see Bitcoin in the possibility of $100,000 mark in 2021. What? And at $125 billion, Bitcoin breaks record for realized market cap. The record comes as a price yesterday hit high of $15,903. And with an increase of $10 billion for the market cap in only a month. Wow. Yeah. Really incredible. Audit, you know, we actually had that discussion. Why don't you break a film into two parts so you can keep the interviews? Well, you're right about that. And the only thing we wanted to do is make sure that we had the continuity and flow. So I think, you know, we've also talked about, and it's still up in the air, you know, but we also talked about the idea of potentially like releasing bonus footage so everybody would still have access to see all the footage, you know, and that kind of a thing. But yeah, great suggestion, Arati, no doubt about it. Appreciate you, brother. Let's see. Gosh, there's so many familiar faces in here. Max Brody Magaton says, making FOMO, quit it, Brad. Will election have an effect on Brian Brooks being at the OCC? I don't know what his tenure there is, because I know he was the interim replacement for Joseph Otting, right? And remember, Joseph Otting and Brian Brooks worked years ago at One West Bank with Steve Mnuchin before he became the U.S. Treasury Secretary. So I don't know the answer to that, but that's a great question, Home Church. Great question. Peter Vass. Yeah, Brad is live. Good morning, General. How you doing, man? Great to see you, Peter Vass. You're another one that just sends absolute fire information to me and so many others, and shares out on Twitter, and very grateful for you and everybody. Michael Val 5 Links, you know, all of you know who you are. You're amazing. Let's see. Phil saying, Spencer H, good morning. And let's see, Jeff Hardy, yeah, says good morning to Mr. Mills. Daniel D, good to see you. When do you think they'll flick the switch, come on in I don't think it'll be certainly before we hear from the international community. Um, with the IMF, and I think you ask a really good question, Daniel D. I think with the IMF and the G20, I think these are huge places to keep an eye on what's happening for end of year, going into the next year. I really do think that these are things we got to pay attention to all the way around. So, yeah, I'm focused there. I want to stay on the international level because, like I said, I know that there's a lot happening domestically here in the States. With getting the process sorted out and the counting of the election and all of this. But again, we're talking about global decentralized assets, specifically XRP here. Ripple's made it abundantly clear themselves when they talked about moving just a short time ago, moving their headquarters to another place that's, more crypto friendly, like Singapore or Japan, right? And, the reality there for me is, well, what are you waiting for? I mean, the big question with the Ripple move is simply this, because there's something there that doesn't line up exactly, okay? I love Ripple. I love XRP. I love everything they're doing. And when they talked about moving, I mean, the question remains that, they, first of all, they already have offices in every place that they talked about moving to that has more clarity. And the elephant in the room is like, if we got so much clarity in those places, why in the hell aren't they using it at scale then? Are you telling me the difference between those countries that have clarity are just simply waiting for you to file papers that say that this is now my headquarters? It's just, you know what I mean? There's a lot left there that doesn't make sense to me, so Jody Goldbronson, great to see you as always. Yeah, we got to stay positive, right? I mean, if it's too much of the world that's negative out here, I refuse to go negative. You got it, Jody. Good stuff. You and Steve are just so amazing. I appreciate you guys so much. Hang the license on the wall. Let's go. Yeah, that's where I'm at, Peter Bass. Great comment. It's like let's just do this, right? I mean, I think we all know that we've, all of us that have been in this space for quite some time understand that this has been quite a conversation at the level that it needs to be. Regulators, governments, they can say they're this, they're that. The reality is that I think it's a globally coordinated effort. What does it mean if it isn't a global coordinated effort that the IMF just calls for a new Bretton Woods without any oomph behind it? I mean, come on. I mean, that's not the way large entities work. They don't pursue narratives that make them look like they're feckless, right? They just don't do it. Yeah, it's a great question, Judy Shelton. Jody Goldbronson asks, whatever happened to Judy Shelton? Does anyone know? We don't know. She has. She needs to be voted on the full with a full floor vote from the Senate, as if I remember correctly. That's where it stood. She was pushed through the House, and it's now her vote needs to go before the entire Senate. And who's to say when that'll happen with this this mess we got going on, right? Moneybag says Ripple is a part of the globalist takeover. Well, they've always had the globalist agenda. I mean, if you think about the idea of Chris Larson and his position and where they've been, you're talking about a global bridge currency for the world. By default, they have to have a globalist, I guess, approach, right, or framework about what they're doing. Because again, and to your point, Moneybags. This is for the world, right? So they have to think bigger than just one country or just a country that has the largest economy. They have to think globally and how that can be accepted, by so many different areas of the world. Absolutely. Great stuff, Moneybags. Carl Wagner says XRP gets its birthday at Bretton Woods. Now, we have to, at the very least, say to ourselves, these are the kind of things we have to watch out for, right? I mean, again, Bretton Woods to G20, right? The international level things, and Bretton Woods is certainly tied in deeply with the international community, right? So I tell you, one of the things I can't shake is the idea of the whole external adjustment to dominant currencies like the US dollar. That webinar conference and webinar with the IMF, either August or September, I can't remember exactly, but it was either August or September, has never left me. There is something very interesting about that conference. So let's see here. And I think no matter, again, for those of you who are just coming in the stream or what have you, I think that whatever's going on domestically here in the States, that constitutionally, that process will play itself out. And whatever it ends up being, it ends up being. I think crypto wins. Look, the economy was in a liquidity crisis well before the pandemic even started. So you bring those two elements to life where you really understand the severity of those globally. I think we understand that, real use case digital assets like XRP are going to be put to work. They're going to be put to work. There's no question. So here you have a veteran investor says every major investment bank will own Bitcoin or something like it. Whoa! Shout out to XRP Crypto Wealth Mutual Fund legend Bill Miller said the risk of Bitcoin going to zero are lower than they ever have been. Predicted more institutional investment in the future. I'll tell you something. Square just said the other day that they're selling Bitcoin faster than they can mine it. Now think about that. It's going out the door faster than we can get it in the door. Supply and demand, scarcity. I have to say, now let's sprinkle something else in. Let's sprinkle in PayPal and the 300 million customers that are getting ready to have access to buy crypto too. Come on in. What do you think that's going to do for scarcity and supply and demand, right? This is really, really something else, It really is. Cookie Munt, good to see you. Love to stream. Yeah, absolutely. Great to see you. Yeah. Maybe we'll even get lucky enough Mrs. Backup will join in the chat here in a few minutes. That would be amazing, right? She just come back to the house. Hopefully she's got time enough to pop in the stream and say hello to everyone. She's not there yet, though. Let's see what else we got here. There was a couple other things I did want to touch on. This is just a little thing to note. Wall Street giant quietly accumulating $75 million portfolio with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Filecoin, Maker, and Compound, CeeLo, Orchard, and Arweave, Keep Network, and Handshake. There you have it. And I believe that's the one with Andreessen Horowitz. Yeah, exactly. It is. Yeah. Who, by the way, is an seed investor in Ripple. You can't make it up, right? Yeah. Jerry won a yacht. Oh, man, it's great to see you. Bitcoin price jumps because are not many sellers. Won't this eventually happen? Any cryptos that worth investing in? Jerry, you make a good point. Yes. In fact, the reason I feel like the price is low for XRP, Jerry, to build on your point there, is because I believe that there are a lot of huge institutional, maybe even bank holders of XRP. That doesn't mean they have to hold it directly. They could be holding it in a pre-allocated status of a LLC holding company. It could be being held for them by Ripple through contractual obligations, right, that need to be fulfilled on the end of both parties. And, you know, and in that understanding, if you were, let's say, someone who could bring enormous level of utility to an asset like XRP, like let's say if you were a central bank and you knew that you did $1 trillion worth of payments a day or a week or whatever it was, and you realize what that could bring as far as utility to the network and help drive the price, would you be incentivized at all to spend it at 20-some cents? When it doesn't have the clarity? Or would you, as a holder or an investor in that, say to yourself, well, I'm not going to start using this asset at 20-some cents. I need to use it when we all collectively make a move to the network in a synchronized way, and we can all help push the volume where it needs to go. And then at that point, it becomes worth it for me to begin to use the asset for what it was intended for. Just a thought. Just a thought. Yeah. Peter Vass says, I need more coffee. I have some, and I'm getting a sip right now. Ah, yes. This is good. Let's see what else we got, because we have some other things out here. Ripple is hiring a business development senior manager for the UK. And Ripple's basically doing a flush, right? You're having a lot of people flush out and head on to other things and begin a new chapter. I think it really kind of started with Miguel Villas and Michelle Bond recently and others. And actually, you could even say Kahina Van Dyke when she went to Standard Chartered, right? And she's only going to be a node away, you know, as Brad Garlinghouse said. So I think a lot of these people go on to other things because they're ready for a new chapter. And I think they understand, too, that the work is there. The work has been done. And obviously it'll continue to grow and be, you know, built and grow over time. But I think, you know, they took it to where they needed to take it. And at this point, you know, it's time for a new set of new blood, new hands to come in and help push the expansion. Thank you very much, Peter Vass. Global expansion is right. And, you know, at the end of the day, if clarity is the issue, and I believe it is, I believe it always has been, remember, in just another week or two, maybe 3 at the most, we're supposed to see the definition of money explicitly include virtual currencies for the agency of the Federal Reserve and FinCEN. And I think things can definitely take a huge change when you see that definition explicitly include virtual currencies going forward. I'm reminded of what Corey Johnson said at his time at Ripple. And what he said was that we may never hear from the SEC. And in fact, if cryptocurrencies are really rolled into a encompassed definition of what money is, then I don't think we will hear from the SEC. We won't need to, right? There she is. Mrs. Backup's in the house. 416 Crypto, great to see you. Yeah, say hi to Mrs. Backup. All right, sorry for that little break, guys. My fall sinus drain is just going crazy this morning. I can tell you something. It took me a minute. I haven't live streamed in so long that I had to figure out the platform again and like how to do it. It's just insane. I'm like, wow, got to figure this out. Everybody's shouting out Mrs. Backup. She's amazing. She really is. I truly believe the constant hiring at Ripple is positioning itself to the world. Peter Vass, I agree with you. I completely agree with you. Again, right? I mean, you think about where this is going, and this is a global decentralized asset. And I mean, if you really know what you hold and you believe in the investment, you believe that, we're going to see something special. Oh, look who asked the question. Alan Dunstan, great to see you. Great to see live stream again for sure. Thank you, Alan. And guys, if you haven't hit the like and subscribe, please do so. When I live stream, I believe I'm going to do it strictly from this channel. Which oddly enough was first designed in its inception to only do short videos. But I think this is because of the problems we've had in the past with YouTube. I think this will be the safest way for us to go. So Rommel TM asked a question. Brad, what do you think about Flare Network Snapshot? Rommel, I'm excited about it, but let me share with you this. I have not positioned myself to be able to claim Spark tokens. As you guys have known forever, as we all do, we're on many different exchanges, some of which I will receive some Spark tokens by default because I've been on that particular exchange, forever. And by default, I will receive some there. However, I do want to say, and I can say right now, I do have some breaking news. I will be interviewing Hugo from Flare in about 10 or 11 days. And guess what? Mickey B. Fresh is going to be with me when we do it. It's going to be amazing. A shout out to Hugo and Flare Network. And we're going to be asking all of the, I see a lot of consistent questions that people ask out here in the community. So, David Welte says, when can we buy our first load of giraffe chow?
I said never.
Oh, David. Oh, God. As I tell you, when we moon, I hope like hell no one actually sends us a giraffe. David Welte, yes, we do have an update on the CryptoTax documentary. Thank you for asking. I just gave it a few minutes ago, but I'll run it down real quick. We are in the third, moving into the fourth final edit process. And basically at this point, we've cut the film down from 5 hours and 41 minutes plus to now that we're down to about an hour and 40 minutes. And we'd love to get it down to about 70 to 90 minutes. So that's where we're at. We're getting closer, my friend. We're getting closer. And we will absolutely keep you posted. Thank you so much, David, for asking. Very excited. It is very exciting, David. And I cannot wait for you guys to see it. No doubt. Yeah. And very excited for Hugo to come on to the show and for us to have a chance to really talk to him. I have been paying very close attention to the feedback from the community when it comes to the Flare Network. I know some people are very skeptical and concerned, and we'll see what goes on from there. For sure. Omar Kaufman, great to see you. Says do 2-part documentary. We may, in fact, it is up in the air. We'll see. But if not, we may release like bonus footage too. We just haven't decided, but certainly a great suggestion, Omar. Thank you and good to see you, my friend. Carouse, is that how you say it? Or Arlid? XRP not stable coin. Never be. 6. I would just simply say, I'm careful. I wouldn't say never. And I wouldn't say stable coin exactly either. I would say global stable coin. If it ends up being any kind of a stable coin, it'd be a global stable coin. And even if it doesn't become a global stable coin, remember, a little over a year ago, David Schwartz came out and reminded all of us that you can launch a stable coin off of XRP and the ledger as well. So, yeah, I think that's certainly a possibility here at my house, and I'm going to reserve the right. Hey, if I'm wrong, I'll make the video that says I'm wrong. You know what I mean? But I've seen enough information from the international level. Something's going to be a global stable coin. That's why the Financial Stability Board has done oodles and oodles of PDF files. Absolutely, Spencer H. There's a huge difference between a stable coin and a global stable coin. That's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right. The Flower Network hasn't made no money and yet is going to do an airdrop. Sounds dodgy. Oh, I didn't even know about that. Oh, that's wonderful, Jody. Thank you. You need a break. Florida sounds good in February. Mrs. Backup in the digital ledger. Yes, indeed it does, too, doesn't it? Thank you so much, guys. We haven't forgot you, no doubt about it.
Yeah, see what COVID is doing.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Let me see. There was a couple other things I wanted to touch on, too. Oh, Ripple chooses to do regional headquarters in Dubai. I think this is extremely exciting, and it looks like Naveen Gupta will be there as well. And shout out to him. And look, this is a big world we live in. No, I agree with you, Arlen Caruso, and I hope I'm saying your name right, no doubt. Yeah, not a stable coin at $1. No, and I've never believed that either. Not at $1, no. Global stablecoin means that the price would be driven to the amount of utility and collateralized assets that are placed on the ledger, providing the level of price needed combined with the amount that is available to be able to settle the payment flows that are used in an entire network. And that would not work and suffice at $1. Yeah, that's exactly right. Let's see. Stack and Zerps, great to see you. People get stablecoin confused with a peg to a stable fiat value, I think. I think you're exactly right, Stack and Zerps. And man, is it good to say Stack and Zerps and just see you again, man. You make a great point, my friend. Yeah. Yeah, global stablecoin, just to kind of clear that up for a second, when I certainly reference it, does not mean $1 USD value or any other token, I mean, or value of dollar. But, it just simply means that the price would be set to a collateralized amount. I look at this a lot the way Mark Carney does and has suggested in the G30 PDF file that I've covered here. And that is, that you would have X amount of central banks would agree to put a certain amount of assets, be fiat, and it could be other assets in an account, and set that aside. And collectively, all of those central banks could collateralize the global stablecoin, a la XRP, or a stablecoin developed off of XRP. And then you have what we would call a price set or a price floor. The beautiful part to this is that the asset XRP could remain open and in a free market and continue to move up in price, but also be so reliable that you would never see it go below the collateralized price itself. And that, to me, is what works for banks and financial institutions and payment providers and remittance companies and the rest of it, right? SMEs, you all get it, right? Because at that point, you can actually guarantee somebody this will always be $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever that number is. I'm just arbitrarily grabbing a number here. But then you can guarantee that value, but you could also guarantee that value of the asset can continue to grow, which would also, in default, allow you to consider launching other products on top of the underlying asset. Let's see. I'm excited for Cryptonair's movie too, Joni. No doubt about it. I really am. Yeah, we don't want 37 episodes. Exactly. But, at the end of the day, if the documentary were to spur someone to be intrigued to see a series because the market changes so quickly, I know that we'd all be willing to sit down and talk about that. That's for sure. Yeah. Daniel D, due date, you mean for the documentary? It's still up in the air, my friend. We have to, fourth edit process we're getting ready to move into of the final cut. So we just have to keep pushing. I'd like to see it done before Christmas. I would. I don't know that happens, but I mean, I know that's just a personal, goal of mine. You know what I mean? Is that, if it's possible, I'd love to see that happen. Yeah. But I mean, look, if it takes longer, it takes longer. I just want to make a great film, right? And I know Dustin does and Mike Jansen does. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Let's see.
Somebody asked where the mascot was. She's right here.
Oh, Pepper the cat.
I could bring her over.
Yeah, Pepper the cat. She's amazing.
Could
Yeah.
bring her over.
Daniel D says can't rush perfection. No, you can't. And I tell you, Jansen's really good at what he does. It's in his hands. It's really in his hands. And full disclosure, I just spoke with him yesterday, and he's putting some amazing things into what we've cut down. It's funny because you cut things down, then you grab things that are really great and you put them back in, and you're like, gosh, now the thing's too long again. But it's just hard. It's a process. You just got to go through. You just have to keep going through it. It's like you're producing all the material into a story, and it's really the process. Let's see. There was a couple other things I wanted to show here. 39 companies have applied for registration with Dutch Central Bank, and that's because it's such a demand. It's like, listen, we can custody your stuff. We can handle it. We can do all of it. 39 companies applied for registration with Dutch Central Bank to provide cryptocurrency services. And let's see, there's a couple other things down here. I want to remind everybody that Brazil Central Bank confirms its plan to launch a CBDC. And that's just one more into the launching of a digital dollar world. I want to remind everybody right here when we're talking about CBDCs, digital dollars, and I hope everyone understands this, is that the Fed doesn't need to design or launch a digital dollar. We already have digital dollars that have been created by private companies like Paxos and the USD coin at Coinbase. And according to Brian Brooks's approach, all we really need to do is to launch the right policy and framework, okay? And that policy and framework can just encompass those private issuers of those stable coins, just like Brian Brooks has already said that, federally chartered banks can actually hold the reserves of those stable coins, right, for those issuers. So that's a pretty important point, because honestly, that means that the digital dollar is already here, ready for use. We just need the policy and the framework to encompass that so it can really begin to fly and take off. And if you think of that, then there's nothing to create. It's already here, right? It just needs the clarity to understand that this is a digital dollar and consumers can feel free to use it because it's held to the policy that it needs to be. Pretty exciting. I think that's pretty exciting because when you think about that, or at least when I think about it, I think about the idea of regulation and the framework and policy being something that's a soft touch, but just enough to bring it underneath of the purview of the OCC and the Treasury, and knowing that they're adhering to policy and all the guidelines that they need to make sure there's always a surplus or one-to-one match, so they're never insolvent, right? And we have a digital dollar, and it's off to the races we go. And I think with a move like that, you would see just like the analogy that Brian Brooks has given about cell phones. You didn't see the FCC create a cell phone for us, right? You're not going to see the Treasury or the Fed create it either, a digital dollar. What I believe you're going to see is you're going to see, the private sector have that public-private relationship, and you're going to see the government agencies actually regulate the industry. That's what they're good at, and that's what they should do. Yeah. Absolutely, Rod Hop. And that is a guarantee, my friend. You said it well right there. Rod Hop's a Hall of Famer. The documentary will show we are not nuts. You got that right, buddy. That documentary is absolutely going to show you that we are not nuts. There's no doubt about that. If it doesn't do anything else, it will show you that. You better believe it, my friend. Spencer H says, I believe the Fed will create a CBDC for wholesale in the background to trade between other countries and to keep a unit of account for the retail stablecoins that are generated. Now that would be an easy soft touch too, right? Because we're really talking, that's a great point, Spencer. And that may happen. Absolutely, that may happen. That back end token that they use, it stays in the central bank circulation or intrabank settlement arena, right? Yeah, that's a very good point, Spencer. And I think that could certainly happen. Yep. No doubt about it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Well, guys, it's been almost an hour, and it's so great to see all of you. I think we're going to try to come back and do 1 or 2 of these a week for you guys. And we just got to tell everybody and get them in here to the Digital Ledger channel. Make sure you absolutely get them to hit the like and subscribe. We miss everybody so much, and we just want to do it. You know, I miss the back and forth, and I'm gonna get the camera straightened out. I'll even at some point we'll even have me back in here like in the little corner, so you can see my face or something for a minute. But even if I don't get that set up right away, that's fine too, right? I mean, we just need to, you know, I just love being able to see your comments and to know you guys are doing well and you're doing okay. You're in the stream, you know, sharing your points of view and all those things. And Daniel D says, love the positivity you and Mrs. Backup bring to the space, man. Thanks a lot. Absolutely, Daniel D. And we get a lot of that energy from you. Yeah. Alan Dunstan says, more live streams per week. Great news. Yeah, we're gonna put it back into the format, at least for a period of time. You know, it may take a week or 2 for us to get to where we can do it on the regular, but just give me a little time. We're going to be able to do it. Yeah. Stack and Zerps, I hope you have a great Sunday as well, my friend. Go ahead and throw your name in the stream. I want to shout you out. Jody Gould-Bronson, Steve Gould-Bronson, Home Church Panama, XLM Gold Steve, Mrs. Backup, I love you. Rod Hops, a Hall of Famer. Crypto Anesthetized Doc, Daniel D, Alan Dunstan, Stack and Zerps, Moneybags. Peter Vass, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. XLM Gold Steve, don't worry about it. Have a great day. Alan Dunstan, Carl Eric B, General Mills, dismissed. I've been waiting to say that for a long time. Omar Kaufman, have a great day, my friend. Sin City, thank you so much, and it's always great to see you as well. David Welte, take care, my friend. Have a great day, and I thank you so much for being here. Spencer H, as always, you and Mrs. H, have a great day. Shout out to Bella, Sadie, and Taden. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Sunday, no doubt about it. All right, let's see what else we got here. I think that about wraps everybody up here for today, doesn't it? Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for us, guys. Have a really great day. We'll catch all of you on the next one.